In this tutorial, we are going to write an app that is going to find the maximum between two numbers entered by the user. The algorithm is shown here. The first step we are going to start, we are going to read the input and put it in variables A and B, and then we are going to compare to see if A is greater than B. Then we are going to set a temporary variable C to be equal to A. Otherwise, if A is not greater than B, then we are going to set B to be C to be equal to B. And then the last part, we are going to display the value of variable C. And then we are going to end the program. So, as usual, we are going to start with App Inventor. We are going to create a new project, and we're going to call it max between two numbers. Okay, this is the name of the project we're going to create. And then the first thing, as usual, the title has to be changed. So we go down and we are going to change it maximum of two numbers. Now, as usual, we have to drag and drop a horizontal arrangement to have our label and text box beside each other. We need a label, and we're going to change the text. We're going to type number 1. We need a text box beside this, but since we forgot to change the width of the layout, we have to change the width. So I'm going to click on horizontal arrangement and change the width to be fill parent. Now I have enough space to drag and drop a text box, and I'm going to rename it because in our algorithm we used A and B. I'm going to change this one to A. Now I have to do exactly the same thing. I'm going to drag and drop a horizontal arrangement, change the width to be fill parent. Now I'm going to drag and drop a label here, and I'm going to change the text to be number 2. Now I'm going to drag and drop a text box, and I'm going to call this text box to be B. The last thing I need is a button, and I'm going to call this one to be process. And to display the maximum, I need a notifier. So drag and drop a notifier, which is a hidden component. Now we are ready to write our program. So we go to blocks. If you recall here, we need a temporary variable C. So I'm going to go and create a variable called C. And I'm going to set the initial value to be equal to 0. Now when the button is clicked, the whole process starts. So I'm going to say when button 1 is clicked, I have to use a conditional statement. It says if A is greater than B. To do this one, I go to controls, and you can see the if here. So I'm going to bring this if here, and I want to say if A is greater than B. To use greater sign, I use again math, and if you look here, it says equal. Now if I drag this one down, and click here, you see all these conditional operators here. So I want this one to say if A is greater than B. So I go to components here and I bring A down and make sure this is text. If A is greater than B, so I duplicate this one, put it here and change this one to B. If A is greater than or equal, it doesn't matter. So I'm going to say if A is greater than or equal to B, then I want C to be equal to, so I would say C is equal to A. If you look at the algorithm, the fourth step is the same as if B this time greater than B. So I have two options here. Either I duplicate this one like this, and I say if B is greater than or equal to A, then I set C to be B. That's one way of doing it. There is another way which is much easier than this one, is to move this one. We don't need it. I can click on this guy and you can see that I have an else condition here. So I can drag and drop this one here. This is going to add another socket here. If this is not true, then obviously B has to be greater than A. So I'm going to duplicate this guy and I'm going to change this one to B. So this way I have C assigned to the maximum between A and B. Now I'm going to go to notifier and I'm going to drag and drop this, not this one. I'm going to drag and drop, if I can find the notifier here, show dialog, text dialog, not this one. I'm going to go and going to drag and drop show message dialog. Then the text for the button is going to be OK. The text for the title is going to be maximum of 2 numbers. And the message is going to be variable C. So I'm going to go to variables, get, and then C. Everything is done. The only thing I need to add is the comment here, this word. So I'm going to right click, add comment, and then I'm going to say compares two numbers and assigns variable C to the maximum of these two numbers. I can extend the width. Done. So everything is set now. The only thing I'm going to do now, I'm going to start testing it. So I'm going to start my emulator. It says number 1, number 2. Let's say 29 and 29. Obviously 29 is going to be the maximum. Let's go 29 and 2. The maximum is 29. Let's say 13 and 26. The maximum is 26.